Well, what a show we got for you. Welcome, racing fans, to another edition of Winning Ways. And we're going to be chatting to Mike de Kock on the final leg of the Dubai World Cup run. He'll be telling us all the updates there and getting you all involved with that. And also we're going to be talking to Dr. Manfred Rower, who is our scientist friend, and he will tell you all about what you should be looking for in x-rays and all about veterinary work that he does and why the vet is so important and why they charge so much. So with me, none other than the losing quarter-finalist at wherever you played last night. I can see your
league match
so
league
bad.
Match.
It was a league match. GCM, how bad were you?
I played rubbish, never in the hunt.
They're useless.
Well, it's like a sense of deja vu every year. You know, you hope you're going to get there and you just don't. It's Groundhog Day again. Play it again, Sam.
But the defence just looks so bad, left.
Yeah, they go, the midfielders go where passes go. The defence is shocking. It's just, I don't know why they can't play two games alike, you know.
Yeah, because on the game the week before, they ran them ragged. They just looked like they were such a good side. Yeah. I phoned you. Oh, anyway, forget about Graham Hawkins, Paul Lafferty, and
Neil Andrews, Joe Soma, all Spurs boys.
All those poor Spurs supporters. Well, don't worry. You know, the Manchester United boys are licking their chops until next week when Liverpool get hold of them. That will be the end of the road for them. Okay, let's go and have a look at what we got in 3 to follow.
In the Travers, Flower Alley is the winner.
His dad, Distorted Humor, he's probably one of his best sons at stud.
I'll have another, wins the Derby. I'll have another in the Preakness.
Lilacs and Lace, 48 to 1, upset.
He's just a big, strong, leggy horse.
Right, well, let's go to the first of our 3 to follow, and we go to one that's sired by one of those Vulgaboss Drift sires, Tiger Ridge. We go Wednesday, Greyville, race 4. Have a close look at Putul.
Yeah, there we are down in the inside, Sheikh Khalifa's colours for the Michael de Kock yard. And a very green horse in the race. Comes out fairly well, but then can't get into the race. The race is, funnily enough, won by the horse in the pink silks, which is Alpione. It just beats Roy's Polly, which is up there with it. But watch this horse, it only gets into it very late, and it looks at different stages, there's going to be a different result here.
Well, it shows you how one run can improve horse. Alpione, first time out, was all over the place. Ran third, I think, second or third, and we put it up as one to follow. So if you're going to follow our horse to follow this, you had to back. It was a good price too.
Yeah, and as you say, you'll see it in the straight. As I say, you know where the horse we've asked you to follow. It's a blue cap on the fence with Anthony Delpeche, who had such a good meeting on Friday. But here, Arthur Marcus pumps this horse to front, and this is Alpione. Looked like everyone thought this would be a good thing. Horse on the outside comes straight past it and swamps it. And you think, whoa, this ain't going to win. Then you think maybe Sean Cormack's coming back in the gold cap, and the horse we found is running on strongly down the inside.
Yeah, only gets into the race really late here now, and left-handed drive from Anthony Delpeche, and only gets beaten, I think, just over half a length, so a very, very nice run.
Yeah, be with it, Batul, that'll improve a long way.
Right, we go to the next one, and we're going to Kenilworth on Saturday. And those tractor boys, those tractor drivers from Carver Flay.
Tractor drivers, they're a bunch of characters and a great idea.
Grant Knowles, yeah. It could only be him. He could, but his vocabulary doesn't go much further in tractors.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he's an old farmer.
Yeah, old
and
farmer.
This one is the black one. They had the green one. I saw them lead in a winner.
And a red tractor.
The red one, they all had red wigs on when they let it in. You know, I saw Tom Yates look quite good with the red wig on. But it's been a great idea, and everyone loves them. Now, they stepped out one by Captain Al, so they're upgrading their stallions as they go along, and they're coming well, this group. And this was a smart debut with Black Tractor. There it's been highlighted there. The ride's been taken by Sean Cormack for Brett Crawford.
Drawn 11.
Drawn 11.
comes away from them, pen split. Quite a bit of speed. He
Typical
looks like
Captain
quite a nice
L,
horse.
got speed, gets into the race, and a lot of people thought horses down the inside might beat it because there were fancied runners, and none other than the favourite, Prince of Thieves from the Joey Ramsden stable with Arthur Marcus. But it ends up being a four-cornered contest, I think, going to the final furlong. And this is a sparkling debut by the winner. We must mention the winner, Captain Chaos, another Captain L. And this for Ronnie Sheehan. Well done to Ronnie Sheehan and Grant Finico. But have a look at them all.
Yeah, Ronnie Sheehan's an old champion. He was a top trainer in Zimbabwe. He moved to Newmarket. I remember Ronnie and Jackie very well. They've trained for a very, very long time and still a top man.
Yeah.
Wayne Jackson's colours in the white sleeves with red and black spots. And next door to it is Black Tractor, which really just gets beaten by greenness.
It rallies, correct. They're both first time, but it rallies. It's going to get beaten a neck or half a length, and then Sean gets a bit more out of it, and it's a sparkling debut.
Yeah, I think this horse will really go on. There was a lot of money on him. Obviously, all those tractor groups put their hands in their pockets and had a few rand, 12 to 1 to 28 to 10. Must have shown them something. And certainly ran a cracking good race. As far as the third horse in the 3 to follow is concerned, because, as you know, Wilgerbos, Maritz-Fontein have got a whole lot of horses going to the National Yearling Sales. We're going to show you a couple of these over the next 4 or 5 weeks that we think you should be keeping your eye open for. And let's go and have a look at the first one. We'll put up the picture now. It's lot 165 on National Yearling Sales, Open Road.
Yes, Open Road by Cantubar. Cantubar still sends them out, but from his first crop when he had Group 1 winners. And James, this is from the immediate family of Whistle Stop. Now, Whistle Stop,
well, it's a half sister to Whistle Stop.
Yes, this is a half sister to Whistle Stop who's gone to Dubai. Whistle Stop beat Willow Magic one day.
He certainly did. He beat him pretty easily too.
Yeah.
But this is a very good family. Asylum Seeker, Chestnut Horse in the second dam, and then in the third dam it's that fantastic Cape family where you've got Sports Chestnut and Cape Badger and all that lot. Giant's Castle, Bodrum, you know, all those horses, Maritz-Fontein horses. That's a hell of a nice filly. Canterbar is a horse that now they've worked out how to mate him. And this looks like the right type of Canterbar.
That's right. Remember, he started off with Zaitoon in his first crop, and I've always bought Cantubars over the years. There's always one or two lurking around my yard. I do like the stallion, and you can afford to buy these Cantubars. I've always thought that.
No doubt. Well, the half sister to Whistle Stop, Open Road, lot 165 on the National Yearling Sales catalogue. You can go and have a look at the catalogue online on the TBA website, so it's quite fun. We're going to go and have a look at what we're going to blast from the past. We pulled up another one of these classics from Byron. Byron Foster gave us these tapes, and because we're going to the SA Classic, which is now called the Premiers or the...
SA Classic. SA Classic still.
Yeah, SA Classic. Is that what it's still called?
Still called SA Classic.
Changed name.
2 million rand on the 28th.
Okay. Well, we're going to go and have a look at the 1995 SA Classic.
Soft falling rain, pulling clear. Soft falling rains won the SA Nursery by 3.
Racing in the 2,000 guineas. Gates fly and they're racing in the Godolphin Mile.
They're off and racing.
Weight didn't matter. Class tells, soft falling rain, much too good. Soft falling rain, an impressive guineas winner. Soft falling rain is drawing clear.
He's made it 7 out of 7 by winning here today.
But it's soft falling rain who is powering away. We'll see out the mile in style. A high-class performer wins the Nay of Joel Stakes.
Dramatic going in, and Final Coast completes the lineup. Set for the Turfadine Classic, 500,000 at stake. And away they go with National Emblem, the first to break the line. He'll look for something to tow him along. It's Race Me on the far side that's going up into handy position. Aromatic is right there in second. Golden Globe is circling runners from that wide draw, going off to set the pace. Pierre Stradham finds himself out in front as they head by the 1400. Golden Globe, the leader by 2. Moved up second is Royal Showman, and then comes Race Me. Behind that is Aromatic. Amber Pondo's racing in 5th position, and behind that comes Teal, then National Emblem. He's racing 5 off the leader. Behind National Emblem towards the outside is Wave Spray, and then comes Secret Swan. They were followed by Nickel Mania. Here's Final Coast racing 7 lengths off the pace, followed by Earl's Castle, then Caldoon. The filly Dancing Danzig is racing back. 1 from last, and Travel North is the trailer. They climb the hill. They've got 900 metres to go now. The black colours along the inside. Golden Globe, the leader from Royal Showman. Amber Pondo is on the move. Amber Pondo on the outside, going up to get into a much better position. Race me between runners. Then comes Teal. Aromatics under a lot of pressure. National Emblem's got about 5 lengths to track down as they're in the straight now with 600 to go, and Royal Showman joins Golden Globe in front. Look to the left-hand side. That's where National Emblem is delivering his challenge with Wave Spray. Teal is just in behind them. Amber Pondo's in a lot of trouble. Amber Pondo is gone. They've come by the 400 now, and National Emblem has hit the front down the inside. National Emblem, the leader. Wide up on the outside is Teal. It's the Newmarket Guineas form, but Wave Spray's giving plenty of cheek between them. It's down the inside. National Emblem. Teal is in the centre. Wave Spray between runners. Now let's see how much heart National Emblem has got. National Emblem is digging down deep. Teal is coming with Final Coast on the outside, but National Emblem has won it. National Emblem by half a length from Teal in second, then Final Coast. Toss-up for fourth between Wave Spray.
Graham Hawkins, what a commentator he is.
Yeah, it was a very good commentary that he picked everything up. He read the race right, a very good commentary, and a very good win by Talented Horse.
Oh yeah, and the second horse ended up winning at July. So, you know.
He ran third in the July.
Yeah, so these you don't win Group 1s by pure luck. You know, it takes a bit of doing to win them. Well done to National Emblem. That was the start of the Gauteng dynasty, the Laird dynasty in Gauteng.
Did Marcus used to have a share in him?
Charles Laird. That was his first horse, I think. Marcus had. Yeah. And you know, he was a fantastic stallion. He just he made Russell Laird's career.
Great stallion.
And Charles ended up with him, and Charles ended up where he is today. You know. Right, we're going to have a look at the plum of the week.
Still the leader, Lucky Break on the outside, Live Controversy, Lucky Packet. My Name is Bond is still the leader, but now here comes Lucky Break. And Lucky Break now moves into the lead, and Yesen Star's running on with Simon Kong. But it's Lucky Break now who's flat to the boards. My Name is Bond on the inside, Lucky Break, My Name is Bond. Oh, it's very close between Lucky Break and My Name is Bond. They went over the line as one. Let's wait for the...
Well, if you back that, which looked like the great start to the weekend, it was odds against on Interbet. You could have got 12 or 14 to 10 at any stage. It was a really good bet, but only a good bet because Anton Marcus is an international world-acclaimed jockey.
Very good ride. He got everyone's favourite up. The runner-up was receiving 5.5 kilos. My Name is Bond. It was a very good run by that horse as well. But Arthur Marcus, he's just a determined man, isn't he?
Yeah, and what's interesting is... quite interested. I'm going on this Interbet in play now, where we World Cup coming up this week. You know,
cricket and rugby and sport.
A lot. Even the rugby, the soccer. You can go on. How many goals? You know, yesterday I said that Tottenham would win by 3. I got 40 to 1. Was about right. Was about right.
And you took in Liverpool next week.
Let's leave it alone. Let's go current affairs.
Right, welcome to another edition of Current Affairs. We had the one Group 3 run here, the King's Cup at Greyville on Sunday. But and there's some racing news, but before we get to that, we're going to show you another race. And one of the premier jump races is at Cheltenham. It's the Gold Cup, and it's always, I think it's a 3.5 mile race to see who the best jumpers around. And this year, James, wonderful story behind it.
Absolutely fantastic. You get Mark Bradstock won the race. He's the winning trainer, ridden by a guy called Nico de Bonneville, who's was an amateur until last year. He's now a professional jump jockey. He rode for Nicky Henderson.
One of the best ways to learn.
Yeah, super. He rode a horse called Sprinter Sacre, which is was a top hurdler. Did all his schooling and that on him. But the key to this whole story is Lord Oaksey, who people will remember as
the author.
Yeah, the fantastic author and a great rider as well in his own right. He was called John Lawrence, the Honourable John Lawrence, as a jump jockey.
Okay.
An amateur rider, and he was a great amateur rider. I think he ran second in the Grand National 1 year. He ended up buying the mare in his retirement from writing, although I think he wrote till the end of his days, for £3,000.
So he was a man. I knew Lord Oaksey's works. I used to read him, and that he was just an amazing man. Well,
he wrote for the Daily Telegraph, the Horse and Hound. He bought this mare, and the first foal he backed it at 1,000 to 1. He had 10 pounds on it to win the Cheltenham Gold Cup. This was the first foal.
Yes.
Well, it never won the Cheltenham Gold Cup, but it won the Hennessy Gold Cup. This is the fourth foal. This horse, Coney Gree. Coney Gree's his name. I don't know where that comes from, but he's by Coringa Bay.
It means I don't agree with you in Scottish.
Is that so?
Coney
Gree. That's very good.
That's where it comes from, yeah.
Yeah. Thank God I got him on the show with me. It's just unbelievable. Thank goodness. Keeps me in the play. Anyway, we're going to look at the last 2,000 meters, the last round of the Cheltenham Gold Cup. And watch this horse in front. He's a novice. He's only had 9 runs in his career. He jumps the best jumpers in the world to sleep. And a great ride from Nico de Bonneville. And a great training feat. This guy's got 10 horses in training to win the Cheltenham Gold Cup, which is the pinnacle of the jumping season. With 10 horses, it's just fantastic for this family. Let's go look.
Mad Place, and still the novice Coney Gree over the open ditch leads by about 2 lengths on his own in second. Road to Rich has always been in the firing line. The two that are creeping close to Sylvia Narco Conti and Jack Adam. Then Holywell behind these many clouds. AP McCoy trying to keep the leaders in his sights in 8th place with Carlingford Lock, and then Mad Place, and they remain away from the others. It is Coney Gree who'll lead the turn down towards the 4th last. On his own, and Road to Riches have always been there. Sylvia Narco Conti and Jack Adam travelling strongly. Many clouds, then Holywell, and they remain away from the others as they make the journey down. It's Coney Gree pulled up Bobsworth at the back of the field. On his own, Road to Riches, Jack Adam moves through into 4th. Holywell, Sylvia Narco Conti's under pressure on the inside in 6th place. Then Many Clouds, Smad Place trying to creep into it, and Carlingford Lock trying to pick up the pieces as well. 3 out in the Gold Cup. Coney Gree, Road to Riches, Jack Adam the youngster on the inside. Then Holywell on his own. Sylvia Narco Conti can't go on. Carlingford Lock trying to stay on. Then Many Clouds, and Coney Gree gallops on remorselessly, leads by 2. Road to Riches with 2 to jump. Jack Adam and Holywell, Nico de Bonneville and Coney Gree lead by 2 towards the 2nd last. Road to Riches driven along. Jack Adam in 3rd. Then Holywell in 4th place. Behind these on his own, Coney Gree jumping, standing the test at the moment. Road to Riches trying to launch a challenge. Jack Adam on the inside. Coney Gree carried towards the last by the roars of the crowd. Comes in one final leap over from Road to Riches and Jack Adam. And now the hill for the novice. Coney Gree, the jumping's behind him. Wandering to the right. On his own, Jack Adam on the far side. Coney Gree off a straight line. Still in front. Jack Adam on the far side. And Coney Gree, inexperienced, no object. A novice, the first for 40 years, won the Gold Cup. Coney Gree beat Jack Adam.
There we go, the first novice in 40 years. You heard the commentator say that. And James, what a wonderful galloping show.
It was just, you know, it brings tears to your eyes to see, to watch something like this unfold. Can you imagine being them?
Sure.
You know? being part of that team. Well, the Gold Cup meeting, Cheltenham was not only synonymous for the first winner of the Cheltenham Gold Cup 40 years, but A.P. McCoy.
Yes, his final Cheltenham.
Yeah.
And he had a winner, which is great news. You know, he's been a legend, and if I got my stats right, you'll correct me, the last 20 years he's been champion jump jockey?
This was the 20th year. He's 100 ahead of Richard Johnston, Tony McCoy. He is just a legend. I think he's one of the greatest guys that ever sat on a jump horse. You know, he's ridden for J.P. McManus for many, many years with incredible success.
James, everything that he's earned in the last, well, in his career, do you think there was that type of money to be won on any power? The all to come on the first day, who fell when clear at the last jump? Bookmakers would have been sent back to Toti.
Well, it was, certainly they would have gone back to Toti. But it was the last leg of a four-timer for the Irish. Now, the Irish arrive with their money that they've saved up all year to punt the Irish horses. Well, Willie
Mullins,
saved
some of their money to drink.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, they don't. They fire the first day, and if the horses arrive, then they've got drinking money. And then they fire the second, third, and fourth. Willie Mullins, who's the Irish wizard, he won 8 races, which is a record at Cheltenham. And then you had guys like Edna Bolger, who's the champion in the steeplechase. Did you watch the steeplechase?
No.
There was a French horse that was back to favourite, and about 4 to run. The little girl who's Nikki Carberry, who's won it every year, she's the best. She's riding for Edna Bolger. He always wins it too. She sneaks up on the left-hand side of this French horse. Well, the French jockey, amateur, okay, got no clue. I promise you, dropped the reins, and the horse jumps left over the jump and takes her through the fence.
Through the fence?
Through the fence. That was the end of her race, and she's just moving into position. Well, if you...
Did he keep riding?
Well, I tell you what, I think he should have. Because she turned round to him, and he went through the fence as well. She turned round to him, and she gave him the mouthful in Irish. Can you imagine what she said to him?
The crack couldn't have been good. Well, that's interesting, but again, the bookmakers did dodge the bullet. Eh?
They dodged the bullet again. Big news out of Australia. China Horse Club and Coolmore bought a share in Pride of Dubai from Sheikh Khalifa, who's Mike's man. You know?
Yeah, that's right. They're for massive money.
Massive
money.
But China Horse Club, they're
everywhere. They're really getting involved, going to be big players in this industry.
Hong Kong, Abel Friend, the horse that Variety Club beat.
Yeah, absolutely. This Shomadol is possibly the best miler in the world today. I think he's rated the highest, and now we're going to go into King's Cup in a moment, but let's talk about this Able Friend. James, he's an Aussie horse who's superb. You watched him win, I didn't.
Well, I never see anything like it. To 200 to run, Moreira's in a pocket on the fence, got nowhere to go, and the horse just rolls slightly off, puts it through, wins by 2.5 lengths, hands and heels.
Did he lock horns with Variety Club, this horse?
The Variety Club clapped him.
What did he do to him?
Last year? He clapped him.
Okay.
Yeah. Gave him one of those lekker South Afrikaner snot klapper, you know, which most people won't understand.
The army boys will know.
Yeah, but we understand that, okay? And this is the best horse in Hong Kong, and maybe the best miler in the world. He's certainly rated up there with them. The other thing about Hong Kong there, the Hong Kong Derby was won by a son of Chozier, a horse called Luga.
Yes.
But more importantly, Chozier's son, Olympic Glory, is going to stand at Arrowfield Stud in Australia this year as a shuttle stallion.
Chozier's been an outstanding stallion. What a superb stallion Chozier is. Throws them all distances, all types, and they all win. Any other international news before we go to the King's Cup?
No other international news. Let's go and watch a King's Cup, which will, to me... I've never seen a pace like this in my life.
To say it was a funeral pace would be pretty accurate.
Interesting to watch your horse in the black and yellow colours. I didn't want to open a wound that's
it's a
gaping
raw wound.
anyway, it's gaping anyway, but I like putting a knife in, you know.
James,
when I get a chance, I'm going to put a knife with salt in. But watch the way your horse is ridden.
James, you know, with so much praise is lauded upon riders, I'm the first to praise them. This is one of the times where 3-0 to Man United meant nothing. This is just unbelievable how Auction King didn't win this race. But good luck to the winner. We did say Hangman's back to his best. Let's have a look at the King's Cup.
About 8 or 9 lengths off the leader in the King's Cup. It's not a genuine pace, and King Neptune's just inching along. In second is the grey, Stolen Destiny. The Hangman at the panel is third, and then Kolkata with the white cap and fourth estate. Auction King is on the outside, then Candy Moon. Behind that, Royal Zulu Guard, and Uncle Tommy spots them all about 8 lengths off the leader. It's King Neptune in the King's Cup, just crawling along. Stolen Destiny continues to pull the rider. Back in second, that's the grey. The Hangman is perfectly placed at the rail. Kolkata has the white cap, and that's followed by Fourth Estate, Auction King and Candy Moon. And then comes Royal Zulu Guard and Uncle Tommy. Top of the lane, and now Stolen Destiny makes the move. King Neptune on the inside. They're followed by the Hangman, Kolkata. Candy Moon goes in for a run. Uncle Tommy's got a mountain to climb. And the Hangman now comes forward under the hands. The Hangman at the front, Royal Zulu Guard. Down the inside, Candy Moon. But the Hangman's hanging tough. Royal Zulu Guard comes home, but the Hangman won it. Candy Moon second, King Neptune third, and Royal Zulu Guard.
Yeah, well done to Sean Terry and Chris Van Niekerk. Nice to see this Jalad Hangman winning. I think it's his 6th race now. He's always been a very good, outstanding 2-year-old, and Sean's taken his time to get him back. He's won his last 2 in a row, and he could be climbing back up the tree.
Yeah, he's won R1 million in stakes, this horse, but he was a National Yearling Sales graduate. Remember the National Yearling Sales 22nd, 23rd, 24th of April.
Yep.
Up in Johannesburg, and this is the type of horse you end up buying there. So, well done to Sean and Magudwa, who rode it. I thought he rode a
good ride,
race.
Yeah. Good ride. Yeah, well done to Dujon Stein, who runs the yard down here. A very good race for them. That was the King's Cup, James.
Yeah, I think we're going to go and have a word with Mike the Cock. This could be quite interesting. Let's go and hear what Mike's got to say, and then have a close look at Let's Go Travel. If you're still thinking of going, as I think we say in the interview that we pre-recorded, you've got until Wednesday to get your visa, so you better get moving. Mike the Cock on the line from Dubai as promised, and Mike, big week ahead of you and a big week coming after that. How's it looking for the World Cup?
James, yeah, at this stage I can't complain. Looks like roughly around 6 runners with 3 or 4 quite live chances. I mean, you're going in there not thinking, oh, I'm just going to run last. I mean, they are horses certainly that have a chance, a horse like Muptij in the Derby, Via Africa in the sprint, and Almond Keith in the 2-mile race, and Dio in the Duty Prix.
Well, Muptij is a horse that really interests me, because I was reading on your website this article by Steve Hansen, and I think one's got to go and read it. He gives you the big rap on this horse. He thinks it should be a Kentucky Derby horse.
Yeah, it does. It was quite interesting to read how they analyse it all and how much emphasis they place on horses being effective over the Derby trip, which he's just about gone barring 100 metres. So, yeah, it's also quite flattering.
Mark, Via Africa, useful comeback. Should be a much tighter horse on the big night.
Definitely, Lef. Given her prep, I think she will improve at least what she was beaten. And she's doing really well. She came out of that race well and has definitely improved. I think she's a runner on the night. I don't think the field is going to get much stronger than that, barring the horse that won last year. He comes out of Hong Kong. But he's had 3 runs since that win and not really done much.
Okay.
So I think she's a big runner.
Excellent.
Mike, just a little wrap about the World Cup itself. There's some fantastic events for the South African crowd, you know, and Phil said to me he's got a few places to get sorted out. We have this braai on the roof or something. What's that all about?
That's, it's something we've done. Well, we did for the first time last year. where we have a brass fulfilled group, and everyone else that's involved with us and around the stable and owners and what have you. It seems expensive at the time, but I can tell you that it's pretty good value. We really get looked after. It's a braai on top of the roof of Maidan, sort of watching the sun go down, and you look out over the racecourse. It's very impressive, and it's well worth it, I can tell you. And we also do, before we go there, we normally give everyone a bit of a tour of the stables, where we parade the runners for the Saturday.
And Kylie Minogue's playing, I know she's Australian, but maybe there's no Australian horses that she can support, so can we get her to your stable party?
I wouldn't mind. I mean, we'll find something for her to do. But she's playing it, yes, after the last, it's quite, I suppose it's a big name, for headbangers and TV boppers like you, Goody, and Red Bull drinkers.
Red Bulls. Yeah, no, I'm bringing Secretariat, so, she's a bit younger than me. She likes that type of thing.
At least you've got a Triple Crown winner.
Oh, Michael, our thoughts are with you, and we hopefully everything goes according to plan.
Yeah, thanks very much. It'll be nice to have everybody there, and nice to see all the South African support. It's something that we as a stable really do value.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Mike.
We love being there, Mike, and look forward to seeing you next week. It's going to be one of the events of all time. Thanks so much for joining us. Tape, and we got to. Phil tells me that I'm surprised because it's the 20th World Cup. It tells me there's a few places available, but if you'd like to go, you have got to get hold of him before Wednesday and sort out your trip. This is a trip not worth missing. If you have a week available next week, you've got to get to Dubai. I'm in this complete state of excitement about it.
No, absolutely. I've done it every year.
You've done it a lot.
I've done it a lot. I've done it every year, and Mark goes out of his way. It's like taking you backstage before a major play or something. He shows us the horse. He talks about the horses. He opens up. There's no trainer. There's no countries in the world are getting feedback from a major race meeting like this, as Mark de Kock does for us. And
we've probably got the biggest band of supporters from any outside country there. There are certainly 70 or 80 South Africans who've got this place downstairs right on the parade ring. Yeah. You walk out, you're at the parade ring, the jockey room is next door to you. Yeah. You're in with the players, and everything's paid for in the trip. You pay Phil, and Phil sorts out. I think it's just the most amazing thing.
James, downstairs, free food, free drink. You can talk to jockeys. People hang the South African flags over the fence. It really is a proud moment.
Well, we look forward to being there next week with Mike and the team. And as I say, give Phil a call if any of you would like to go.
Soft falling rain, the 3-year-old is coming at hard thick. He's picking him up with every stride. Soft falling rain alongside hard thick. He puts his head in front. Soft falling rain is drawing clear. Soft falling rain has won the Godolphin Mile.
Archer now. Anton Marcos pulls the trigger, and Happy Archer, silent calls come from nowhere. Happy Archer the last 100 and silent call. Happy Archer moving like the wind.
Well, as promised you, we are going to chat about all things veterinary with none other than Dr. Manfred Rower. And Manfred, you've been around the block.
No, I have. Yeah. Good morning, James. Thanks for having me on the show. No, we've been around, worked in Johannesburg, worked in Durban now for the last 30 years. Yeah, done breeding work, racing work, the whole lot.
Well, you started in Johannesburg with Cliffy Meyer, who was a bit of a boykie in Johannesburg. He was a bit of a gallivanter, that Cliffy.
Well, I'm not sure. I was very young then. I worked for him not for very long in Honeydew, quite an interesting part in Johannesburg, and then I actually worked for Maurice Azzi, which was sort of the guru in veterinary medicine and practices. If you hadn't worked for Maurice, you most probably hadn't made it. And then after that, I came to Durban, to join Baker and Dupree at that stage with Janti and Brian.
Yeah, when I had visions of being a vet, my mother sent me one winter to go and work for Maurice for a month. And you know what put me off? We went to 4 Ways to go and look after a cow that had an afterbirth sticking out its back end. And the stench and the whole thing, I just said...
I'm sure it put you off. I think it puts most of us off not to go into cattle practice.
Not for me, in my veterinary aspirations. I don't think I was clever enough anyway, because you guys are pretty smart. You know your way around.
We wear tidy shoes. We try not to get too dirty. I think even especially in racetrack practice.
Well, now you're down here, and as you say, 30 years, Baker McVeigh. It's like the name synonymous with veterinary practice here.
Yes, I think so. I think our strength really lies in that we've got practices worldwide, and so we do exchange a lot of our veterinarians. We move young veterinarians around. I mean, we've got the Cape practice and then Newmarket, Chantilly in France and Yorkshire now. So yes, it's really great to be in a team that gets experience from all over the world, and we try and stay on the button and offer a great service to everybody with the newest technology and information around, really.
Well, mainly it's McVeigh's sort of brainchild, because he's got all these children that he's got to put through private school, so he's got to have all these income earners.
Yeah, possibly. We all know that private schools are expensive, and then varsity is still to come. But he still puts an honest day's work in, so yeah, sure. He still has to do what he has to do.
You stick up for your partner any time. Manfred, just talking about that, you've had a couple of successful children, and mainly you got your son's on the tour in America. He's with one of the big universities.
Yeah, well, I can't really call it on tour. It's a golf scholarship in a first division college in the University of Alabama, Birmingham. It's a small little town in the south. Yeah, he's doing well. He's in his 3rd year now. He's got 18 months to play hard, and then after that it's decision time whether he wants to turn pro or take up a profession. He is studying at the same time, which is,
pretty good
at all. Yeah, pretty good.
Not easy to get one of those scholarships.
No, I think he was lucky that he played for South Africa in his matric year. He got his SA colours, and I think that really helped him get into a Division 1 college, and that's really where it is. And then you have to stay in the side, and they've got a good system. Is that on average there's about 10 to 11 players, and only 5 play at any time. But they also have to maintain a grade average, and so if you don't maintain the grade average, then you can't play. So it's good. I think he's luckily it was no drinking until he was 21. I think that helped matters a bit.
Well, we wish him all the best. But just talking about veterinary matters, these vets are much maligned because they charge like wounded buffalo. And, obviously you've got reasons why you've got to charge so much.
Well, you mentioned it earlier that we've got kids at school and kids at colleges, and we've got lots of vets that we have to pay. But I think sometimes it's a perception really that it's an unexpected bill, and I think all veterinary practices nowadays I think have realised that we need to keep the owner informed and advise them on what we're about to spend, hopefully phone them and communicate with them on what we're going to do and what we're going to spend and what the prognosis is. So yeah, if we can limit the amount of unexpectedness in the bull, then I think we have far better communications and relationship with our clients, and we're trying as much as possible to get that right.
Horses are very, very fragile, and a lot of the time there's work that has to be done on them.
Yes, I think right from the yearling stage really is where I think it's important to make sure that what you're getting involved in is sustainable really, or has longevity in it. One cannot always determine what is a good horse, a horse that can run or can't run, but where we try and aid and help people is to help you in assessing the longevity of what you've got. And if there are lesions that are of concern, whether it is a high risk or low risk lesion, and what your chances are for your horse to survive a rigorous 2-year-old career, or is it better for the horse to be a 3 or 4-year-old, and what your odds are really in that. And that's really what we do at sales right from the beginning. And then in training really, we a couple of years ago we started helping trainers really to trot up horses, and the thinking behind that really is to pick up conditions early. And if you pick them up early, you can prevent them getting worse, and then the horse actually just lasts longer, your athlete lasts longer, and everybody benefits from there. Yes, it comes at a cost. We can't all stand there and look at horses and treat a horse for nothing, but I think it's money well spent then.
The question obviously that I want to ask you is there or are there a lot of requests from trainers to do work on horses that is not really necessary, especially work leading up to a race? You hear of these vets bills that are presented, work leading up to a race. Is it really necessary?
I don't really think it is necessary. I do think it's important to ascertain whether your horse is sound before a race. And with international pressure worldwide, and from the regulatory veterinarians had a congress end of last year, and there's a lot of pressure not to do much treatment within the week of racing. In Europe, they've agreed to certain terms. Within 8 days, you're not allowed to do certain procedures. We are under pressure to get that done here. And I think it's all, if it's reasonable and it's manageable, then it's a good cause not to fiddle too much with the horse within the week of its racing. From a trainer's point of view, I think sometimes it's a crutch. I think trainers want to do as much as possible for their horse. And sometimes one doesn't really know where it really ends, really. And sometimes it's more for your own mind rather than for the horse's mind, and giving vitamins, and that's not always necessary. I mean, the feeds nowadays that we feed are brilliant. They've got good mixes, and so one would argue that it's probably less important than it might have been years ago.
Interesting that I just saw, and I know you work very closely with NHA, that they've scheduled a homeopathic substance called Tromil as a Schedule 3. What do you think of that?
I think it's, we've had some discussions. I'm on the racing subcommittee of the Equine Veterinary Association, and it's actually a Medical Control Council regulation, and I'm not absolutely sure why, but it has possibly something to do with it being an injectable medication rather than having a significant active material in it. So we're not sure. It hasn't really been NHA, it's been the Medical Control Council, and NHA just has to put it in a category because of its scheduling with the MCC, the Medical Control Council. So we're meeting in April, we'll discuss it further then.
Before we go on, let's have a look at our Magic Millions graduates, and then we'll be back with Manfred. Right, up on the screen, Royal Denise and Zitsar. Those are the winners that came from Magic Millions. And back to you, Manfred. Just veterinary work at the yearling sales has always been a contentious issue, but that's where we want to lead to. We want to be able to chat to you scoping. What's scoping all about? Tell the people out there, you know, most of them probably never seen what a scoping of a horse is.
What a scope is really is passing a flexible endoscope, similar to humans getting your stomach scoped to see if you've got an ulcer. This is a shorter one, And you pass it down the nose of a horse to look at its larynx. And as we all know, the horse can't breathe through its mouth, it only breathes through the nose. So it's absolutely important that the larynx actually is as open as possible during extreme exercise, full gallop. So that's really what we do. It's a function of the larynx that's controlled by nerve innervation, and horses inherently have a problem with the left arytenoid, the supply to the left part of the larynx. So they all are partially not normal, all racehorses, and we're trying to ascertain which ones actually have a problem or not. You also get growths in the throat that can occlude the wind. So that's what we try and ascertain in South Africa after the sale, Australia after the sale. Other countries like the UK, you actually have an opportunity to scope a horse before the sale. But we don't do that here. We only do it once you've bought the horse. You then have an opportunity to have it scoped, and if it has one of the conditions in the catalogue that would make it not suitable for sale purposes, you can then return the horse, and then the breeder then has to take it through another channel.
It's vitally important to have them done, I would have thought, and in my experience, to have a horse scoped after you bought it.
Oh, I think it's absolutely crucial. Because it might just be a growth there. There is a bit of grey zone because you cannot always ascertain it to the fullest degree in a stationary horse. So we must all appreciate that when you get we zone it into, most practices zone it into 4 or 5 zones, where zone 3 becomes a grey zone, and there often you actually need a bit of exercise to make a decision, and really in that zone is where often a horse will be passed and will end up with an issue a couple of months later, or will be failed and will not have an issue. So that is where various sales organizations have different conditions. In the UK, we lunge them to try and listen whether they make a noise. There's an ultrasound scanning technique now where you can scan the muscle on the side of the larynx, just to help you make the decision in the grey zone, those cases in the grey zone. The ones that are absolutely normal are normal, and the ones that are not normal are clearly not normal. It's always the ones that are in the grade 3s.
All these things lead to us to try and find the ultimate racehorse, and then we come to X-rays, and obviously this is the main part of what we're going to talk about, because X-rays have become the buzzword at horse sales today. They have these repositories where they have X-rays on all these horses, and you guys have become experts in this.
Yeah, I think we do that. We do it as a practice, and we do a lot of it really. We do it in all sales all over the world. I've just come back from Melbourne and an English sale. We do Magic Million sales. My partner John McVeigh is going to Sydney, and we do the UK and obviously South Africa as well. It's an interesting part of what we're doing, because a horse on average gets lodged with a standard set of 36 X-rays: the knee, the fetlock, the feet, the hock, the stifle, the hind fetlock, and we all went through a big learning curve, because one sees a lot of things, and a lot of these things we've learned over the years together with all our colleagues worldwide don't actually have an influence on the horse's career. So it's interesting, because you have to grade the lesions into either high risk, medium risk, or low risk lesion, and some of them really look horrific and you would never want to touch them, and but it also, just to cut across you then on a different point, is that also the opinion of your veterinarian will differ a little bit on whether you want to resell the horse properly, possibly, or whether you actually just want to buy it to race, and whether you wanted to have it as a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old. So it becomes interesting, and the danger is to overinterpret and to then fail too many horses, because a lot of these things are actually little fold fractures that they pick up when they're 6 months old and they're running around the field. They're not actually bad fractures. They are just developmental things, also folds that just grow too fast and have abnormalities in their development. And some of these things can be removed and others can't, and those are the ones that one then needs to find out that they are there, because once a horse started exercising properly, they will become an issue.
All right, well, let's go back to that X-ray. Can we get that X-ray back up that we had, the first one? There we go. Tell us what that is. So we
that is obviously bone, that's a fetlock. And the little bone that you see at the end there towards the right is the sesamoid, and a lot of ligaments attached there. And those loose pieces on the top of that bone that's jutting out on the right are fragments. It's where the ligament attaches. So that is very crucial to ascertain on whether there are lesions within the ligament. But if they are removed and the ligaments attach back, it becomes a reasonably good prognosis. And on the hind leg, it's got a better prognosis than the front leg.
You'd advise your client on that X-ray that we've just seen to not buy the horse?
If you had to resell the horse, it would be most probably a no-no, because a surgery would have to happen before. And but if that horse was conformed correctly, if your clinical examination confirms that it's not extremely slack in the pastern, your chances are a lot better. But that would be a medium risk in our mind.
Watch it there. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Right. There's the next X-ray.
Yeah, that's a stifle. You can see that's right under your kneecap. That's got
stifle's the hind leg of a horse.
The hind leg of a horse, like a kneecap in our leg.
Yeah.
And there's a big lesion you can see there.
Looks like a big hole.
A big hole, exactly. What you see is a big hole. That fragment has been removed. Also, we measure that. We've got an ability to measure that. And if it's over a certain size and over a certain depth, it becomes a high risk or an acceptable risk. I've included a slide here on the surgery. This horse actually had a surgery. And we can see it now.
Right.
This is actually not this specific surgery. But you can see on the left picture, this is what it appears when you do the surgery. It just looks like a little dimple. But it's actually got a cyst, a hole underneath, and on the right-hand side is then after the surgery.
You got an arrow, and just left of the arrow there's a grey line and a grey sort of semicircle. That's where you obviously cut it all out.
Yes, that's where the dimple. So it really behaves like a pothole in a tar road. That the substrate underneath is faulty, and then as you start getting traffic over the top, as the horse exercises, this cartilage falls in, and you can see it on the left side there. It has fallen in.
And Manfred, what would it cost to do surgery like that?
In rands?
Yeah.
About 25,000 rand. And all in on the horse stays at the hospital in most practices 5 days, and it'll get a bit of treatment after that to reduce the inflammation. But that's normally what it would cost, all in all, with various,
it's a package deal.
It's a package deal, yeah. You know, you can get it more reasonable, but that's more or less what it's going to end up costing you.
All right, let's look at the next slide that we got up there. There should be some more slides. All right, here we go.
That's now this is also another form of OCD. You can see on the left side.
What's OCD mean?
It's an osteochondritis dissecans. It's a degenerative lesion that happens where the bone, in this instance, you can see it's a loose piece of bone that lies there. It's reasonably loose, and then it gets removed. On the left, you can see it there, and on the right, the guy's removed it. It is partially attached, but it is a deformity in the development of the bone. And that's why it's crucial to grow your horses up consistently and not overfeed them, and they must have regular growth rates. These are things that if that lesion will have a good prognosis if you remove it. And that's really why you need veterinarians like us, hopefully, to advise you on, even though the horse has had a surgery, before it gets into the sales ring, that it's of no significance or that it's a low risk. Or for that matter, it might be a high risk. But you need to be told that.
Do many horses have surgeries before they get to the sales ring?
Yes, more than I think most people would
realize.
Think. Yeah. They do have a system now in South Africa. It's not compulsory yet, but in Australia it's compulsory that any surgery within the belly or a joint surface has to be declared in the repository. So when we look at a set of X-rays, there will be a report saying this horse had a surgery in the fetlock or the stifle or the hock, and it does help you because you can't physically see it when you examine the horse.
Let's go and have a look at another X-ray. I'm sure we got some more. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this is a knuckle
on the right-hand side.
On the right-hand side again, this is a stifle, the knee again, and you actually can see a hole there. that was the surgery where I mentioned the dimple. That would have been the surgery to go in there and clean it out. We often inject these horses prior to coming to the sale even. They will be injected, and often they will actually improve.
With cortisone, that's the...
With cortisone, yeah. And you reduce the inflammation, and then the bone settles down and starts forming more normal bone. So, yeah, it has a good... There's a lot of veterinary work that's been done on percentages of all these lesions that we're talking about now, what the percentage to racing as a 2-year-old, to 3-year-old, to 4-year-old, and also for what sort of money they return.
What have we got here?
That's also assist. If you look on the right-hand side there, you see the joint surface, which is the line across. On the right-hand side, there's a darkened area again, and that is a cyst and a fetlock. So that carries a high risk. If that creates a problem, then you're in trouble. So these things are not visible in a horse that you examine. So
absolutely, you can see. You can't see this, and here's a horse's knee, obviously.
Yeah, there's a horse's knee. You can see on the left side of that margin of the X-ray, very roughened area, and there's actually a small chip lying there. So you definitely don't want to buy that. That's especially in a ready-to-run sale. You need to make absolutely sure, because the horse has now had a couple of gallops. You need to know what's going on there, especially in the fetlocks and the knees. And then
the knees are quite interesting because you have these two big bones at the bottom and the top, and you have all those carpals in between, in the middle, which people probably don't really understand about. And that's where you get all these little fragments.
Yeah, it's basically the wrist, the same area as a wrist in a human. But these little bones chip their little edges off, especially the horses that go fast and horses that are slightly offset. So it is really what we see most of. And it's very, very important to know that the knees are in good shape.
The gist of this whole thing is, if you go to the yearling sales and you want to spend some money, it's worth spending whatever it costs.
It is a minimal fee. I think people often don't quite understand what it is that you don't have to. We don't take the X-rays get taken. But the X-rays get taken at the cost of the breeder. So the breeder really ends up footing a larger bill. And the reason the repository was started is that the horse doesn't have to get X-rayed 3 or 4 times every time a person wants to see the X-rays. So all we really charge, it's a couple of $100 to look at the X-ray and give you as a potential buyer a report. So it's really value for money. But it's also important to, I think, use veterinarians who've got the experience, because you do need to consider whether you're going to have to resell the horse or whether you're going to want to step on it early as a 2-year-old. So it's ideal to use people that know what they're doing to not miss the good horse, because there are organizations that buy horses with extreme care, and you will end up missing good horses because not all of them are clean. A lot of them are not clean, and you need to find the bad ones in between that you need to stay away from.
Manfred, the big sales are coming. Our advice, obviously, to all of you out there, and we think this is probably the best advice you'll ever have as far as veterinary surgeons are concerned. Consult with your man if you want to buy a horse. There's some big practices out there. You guys will be able to put them in the right direction, and it costs not a lot of money compared to what you're going to actually pay for a horse. I
agree. James, thanks very much for the show, and thanks for having me here. Thank you.
Manfred Rowe, Dr. Manfred Rowe from Baker McVeigh. Very, very interesting, and you should actually record this and keep it, because you should look at it a few times. It will give you a very good idea of what it's all about trying to buy that proper horse at the yearling sales. We wish you all the best with your purchases of the sales to come, but in the week's racing, you have a good one.